Next, I would like to introduce our next speaker for Mr. Zoru Bhathena. Mr. Bhathena is a passionate environmentalist, a civic activist who has been at the forefront of various high-profile civic campaigns in Mumbai. Known as the city's tree warrior, Zoru has been at the forefront of efforts to protect Mumbai's green spaces. His relentless advocacy has led significant legal victories, ensuring the preservation of our natural environment. Beyond his environmental work, Zoru has been a tireless champion for various civic issues. He has filed numerous public interest litigations to address issues such as illegal construction and the management of public spaces. His commitment to sustainable urban development and coastal protection has made a lasting impact on our society. Zoru's dedication to community engagement and his ability to mobilize public support for critical issues make him a true leader in the fight for a better Mumbai. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Zoru Bhathena, who will speak on the topic, Environmental Advocacy, How Citizens Can Influence Urban Policy.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Zoru. They may say environmentalist, but I think I'm just the mentalist part. So some of y'all who have interacted with me will find that out soon enough. We live in a city, Mumbai, which is, I believe, one of the prettiest natural areas of land that we can find in any city in the world. We have a unique city. We have forests, we have oceans, we have rivers. We ourselves don't know what we are sitting on because everybody is busy going to work, to office, home, back, front, fighting over all sorts of issues in our day-to-day lives. We have no time to figure out. This is also okay, not a problem. We can just. Are you all able to see this? Yeah? Because, sorry, it's a PDF, so it will be the same. We don't have time from our day-to-day lives to really see what's happening in our city. We all spend time going on holidays, so we will go for a holiday to a national park, we will go scuba diving somewhere, we will go for a trek somewhere. But in Mumbai, we don't have time for anything. And we have all this here. So today, just a little bit of stories about this madness. I don't know why I do it, but it's something that interests me. So a little bit of RTI information and a little bit of story to it. Yeah. So is it in focus? Yeah. Okay. Sure. Perfect. So let me start. Does everybody recognize this? It's a 10 rupee RTI stamp which you need to stick on every RTI. I keep this in my pocket because we don't know which department we go to and have to make an RTI there. Personally, I find the physical RTI much easier or much more informative. Online has a very good system, but the online one, if you don't address it to the right department, it circulates round and round till it reaches the right department, and that can take its own sweet time sometimes. And not all our government offices are online, particularly BMC is notoriously offline. For RTI. For Twitter, they are very good, as Anil mentioned. I complain on Twitter to BMC about 5 times a day. And I must say that at least 50-60% of the complaints they address. They don't solve everything. The problems are too much. But they look into it. And that's a big thing. I've also noticed that in most of the issues that we fight with, when we go with an RTI physically, like if I go with an RTI to the office and submit it, they first of all look at us strangely like, why has this person come here? He's come to look for some issue of some trees? Means they cannot understand it. Why somebody has spent their time and effort to come to their office to figure it out. And when it's not a matter of just giving in the dispatch and saying, give me an RTI. It's always helpful to find out who is the right person in charge of that project or issue or whatever. And I would like to say that in this interaction with officers, lots more information comes out. Very often we go asking for RTI for X reason. And they realize that yes, your request is having some genuine good reason. They themselves will tell us, you also ask why question. Because you will get this information, because they are sitting there. They know what is happening in their office. So if they agree with your cause, they are the most helpful people. And the officer on the seat is always the most helpless person, because he's got some orders from up, or he's just executing what he's told to do. He doesn't have a choice 90% of them in matters. So the most useful information we get from interacting with those people who give this information. And as I told you, this little stamp gives me a lot of happiness, because it gives me a reply with many stamps which comes in the post, and I see it, I get very happy. I said, oh, some reply has come, let me see what it is. Of course, this reply will say, please come to our office and pay so much money so that you can get the copy. That's a different story. But I always laugh that my 10 rupee RTI, to reply to my 10 rupee RTI, they spend 25 rupees on post. Okay. Coming to a few of the issues. Okay. I think everybody would have heard about the RA issue, about the metro car depot at RA. So just give a little bit of background to this issue. A metro line was planned from Cuff Parade to Seeps, which is at Andheri, with a depot at RA. This planning happened in early 2010-11. It got implemented in 15. When it got implemented, the issue of the depot came up, but this is a forest. Now, why are you building it here? And there was a lot of public movement on not having this depot in the forest. So government being government, first thing said, it's not a forest. Okay, just because there are trees doesn't make it a forest, it's not a forest. And in all projects, there are all politics involved in everything. I believe all politicians are good when they are in opposition. So we must keep them there very frequently. Because once they come on the seat, the seat corrupts or changes the thought process of everybody. So this project was planned by the Congress government. The Chief Minister, 2015, Prithviraj Chauhan, inaugurated it. He laid the foundation stone of the RA depot, or not the foundation stone, but he was the guy who inaugurated the project. Few months later, government changed. Mr. Fadnavis became the Chief Minister. In the first 6 months, all of them, the entire cadre of BJP opposed it, saying no depot in RA. We must protect this green space. 6 months later, their tone also changed, as with all governments. And this green spot, which is, just to give a little bit of background, RA is called as the RA Milk Colony because it comes under the dairy department. There are 29, 30 dairies there where they actually milk the buffaloes or cows and send the milk out. And this plot of land directly touches Sanjay Gandhi National Park, which is a protected, notified national park. And if you just go to RA at any point of time, particularly in the evening sunset, you will see wild animals. It means you don't have to go out of the way to see this. So everybody started protesting, saying that no, you should not make this depot here. You can make your depot anywhere in the city. Why here? So within 6 months, the government changed its tune and said, no, this is not a forest. This is not part of any ecologically sensitive area. And there is no need to save this. So a huge battle was fought and lost. Uh, but coming back to the RTI point of it, how did this happen? So the then Chief Minister had a war room where all critical development issues were brought before him. And when he was Chief Minister, we never given the RTI, the war room minutes under RTI. It was refused to us many, many times. But moment he lost power and some other Chief Minister came, tab karke we got the war room files. But by then it was too late. This is the minutes of the Chief Minister's war room meeting of 3rd February 2016, which directs the metro authorities to exclude the car depot from the eco-sensitive zone. Directs a metro to be a permissible activity within the Borivali National Park. And directed the Forest Department, who is the protecting authority, to tell the Ministry of Environment that we want a metro depot in our protected area. So these directions came from the Chief Minister's war room, from himself. And that is how this entire issue came up of a protected plot of land got unprotected on the directions of somebody, but we got the RTI, but too late. By then that ship had sailed. So getting information from RTI is easy with just putting a stamp and making an application, but when the government doesn't want to give you information, it is a battle. You can go to first appeal, second appeal, commissioner, you can go to court, you can go everywhere you want, but when they want to do something blatantly wrong, they will do it. I think we all experience that. Another twist or another story on this RA depot was there were always alternate places available. RA was not the only place in Mumbai for a depot. One of those alternate spaces was Kanjur Marg. And there are many stories about that Kanjur Marg depot. When the Fadnavis government changed and the Thackeray government came, the Thackeray government said, we will move this depot to Kanjur. And that created its own political controversy. The union government salt department said, no, it's my land, it's a salt pan, we can't make it there. Fadnavis, who was now in opposition, said it's a mangrove-filled natural spot. You want to destroy another forest to save one forest. All these political stories, if I may say so, arose. In RTI, when this battle was going on in 2017-18 itself, from the UDD, which is the Urban Development Department, itself we got their own drawing which says that the car depot at Kanjur, I don't know if you all can read it, but it says that this plot is state government land in custody of state government, free of any litigation. Their own document says it. Many years later, we received 2015 board minutes of the Metro Authority. In their own board, the board of directors of the Metro, who was doing this, they themselves say that the car depot at Kanjur, there is a case on that plot, but not on the depot plot. There is a big plot of land. The case is on one part. The depot plot is not part of the case. And the 41 hectares land identified for the car depot can be excluded from the stay order because not part of that case. And the ownership dispute doesn't cover it. And there is no dispute pending in the High Court on this. They themselves in 2015 say it. Not some story today. But again, we receive this too late. Let's come back to the reason why does the government want to go into a forest or into any sort of tree-covered area. Original plan of this metro line, this Metro 3 line from Kaffared to RA was a project of 23,000 crores, of which some 13,000 crores was to be funded by the Japanese loan. 10,000 crores was to be funded by the state government. From day one, state government said, we don't have any money. We will not give you, this 2010 story. We will give you a plot of land in RA. You commercially develop it, make 10,000 crores and fund your metro. So when we expose that the reason they are going into RA is for commercially developing it and nothing to do with the depot. The Chief Minister came out and made a statement that no, we will not commercially, we are scrapping plans, there will be no commercial development in RA. And this was his statement. But the RTI of his own war room meetings say that the term car depot means commercial development. So this is how governments twist permissions. So because there is pressure today, they will not develop it. But 5 years, 10 years, 20 years later, they will do it. Same metro line, Metro 3. This is an RTI reply received in January 17. We asked them a simple question. How many trees are you going to cut for your metro line? And the answer in Jan 17 was we are going to cut 5,012 trees from Kaffared till Seeps, not including RA, not including the depot, only for our metro line. We are having 27 stations. Each station has 100, 200 trees to be cut because every station was made in the most green part of the city. In Kaffared, they used the BMC garden next to Kolaba Woods. In Vidhan Bhavan, they used some playground. At Churchgate, there was a J. Tata road, which was fully tree covered. Wherever they could find empty space, they made their metro stations. And only space, empty space in Mumbai is somewhere where there is some tree, and that is why it is empty. Because if there was no tree and it was empty, somebody would have already encroached upon it. So the tree is today an encroachment protector for our city. So this project in 2017, when this issue came out, that 5,000 trees are being cut for a project, was at that point of time Mumbai's largest tree cutting project. Today, they cut 15,000, 20,000 trees and everybody is okay with it. But in 2017, it was a big issue. Interestingly, in this reply, at the end, we also asked them that if you cut so many trees, where are you going to plant the compensatory trees? So they gave a reply that we are going to plant trees, on the right it is mentioned, at the Mandala Vadala Dargah plot. So we asked everybody, where is this Vadala Dargah plot? What is Vadala Dargah? Vadala is huge, there are so many dargahs. Where is this plot? And nobody would answer this given answer. Till we filed some RTIs, and in some RTI there was a map showing that this is the plot. Even verbally, officers would not answer us. In RTI, only Vadala Dargah plot was mentioned. No, which plot number, CTS number, location, nothing mentioned. So we went to see the plot. Finally, as we found it. And this is what we found. It was a salt pan. This is from the freeway, the view from the top, and this is the view on the ground. We got the man, there was the dargah guy, the guy looking after the dargah, we told him stand in the plot. One small little dargah it was, and a huge plot. He's standing in salt water. During high tide, it fills up with salt water, and during low tide, it goes out. And they wanted to plant 5,000 or 10,000 compensatory trees in this plot. But how will a tree survive in salt water first? How will a tree survive even if it was good water? tree cannot grow in water. So, not only were they planning to destroy a tree cover with a valid reason that we want to make a metro, but have zero intention of replanting it. Because nobody in their right mind would have selected such a plot. With great difficulty, the reason I'm mentioning this, that because even in RTI, it's very difficult to get information. Luckily, one map was in that file and we got it. Government is also experts when we ask information and they want to hide it. If we ask for a file, they will remove from that file what they don't want and give you the rest of the file. They will say, come take inspection. I unfortunately can't read Marathi, so it's very difficult to see any inspection. I have to take it home, get it translated, or ask somebody else to read it. So, these are the pros and cons of it. But still, all this information finally did come out with this RTI only, which otherwise wouldn't have come out. Give you some more examples. At Bandra Linking Road, opposite National College, there is a Patvardhan Park. One day the government, BMC decided that, oh, Linking Road is very crowded, no place to park, so let's make a parking lot inside the Patvardhan Park. 2018, they had a plan of making the entire Patvardhan Park into parking and said that parking will be underground and we will restore the park above it. That got scrapped in 2023. They decided, okay, one corner of the park, we will make an underground parking and we will not touch the rest of it so that opposition is less. So when we filed an RTI and asked them that, what are you all planning to do? So on the bottom it says, enclosed plan showing the proposed underground parking. And what was attached? A 10-story building. In their own RTI. Yeah? So this is how government is expert in writing different words for different things. Just to give you another story, we have a coastal road which is opened up. When they opened it up, they said India's first undersea tunnel. So we asked them, but undersea, but it's not going under any sea. It goes under Malabar Hill. How can you call it an undersea tunnel? They're like, oh, is it? Okay, we'll remove the border. So they removed the border. So they just put things and put names to anything they want. So this proposal of a 10-story building with parking, they call it underground parking. And that's how I have least faith in anything the government says. Even if it is right, I disbelieve it. Hanging gardens. I think maybe a lot of you all might have heard the story about BMC had a proposal. Hanging gardens is built on the terrace of a water tank of the Malabar Hill Reservoir. It's a 7-acre garden. One day, BMC came out with a story that, oh, it's extremely dilapidated, it will collapse at any time. And if it collapses, not only will the water supply of Mumbai stop, but that all that water will go down Malabar Hill and all of Malabar Hill will be destroyed. Nice, it's always nice to give scary stories. So to repair this tank, they had planned that we need to reconstruct this tank. But if we reconstruct it, then where will we keep the water? So let's make a new tank next to it, so that we'll make a new tank, and then reconstruct this, and Mumbai will continue to have water. So to do that, they wanted to cut 389 trees. Now 389 trees is a lot of trees, but it's still not as shocking as the RTI information which came out, which said the cumulative age of the 389 trees was 9,494 years in 2018 when they made this document. 10,000 tree years were to be cut, removed to make a water tank. So we asked them that whatever you do, you cannot restore 10,000 years of trees. So why are you doing this? You want to make an alternate tank, make it in any other place, put a pipe and pump it here. It's not there's no rocket science in how to move water from one place to the other. Thankfully, because of all this pressure, they finally agreed to have an inspection of the tank, and when they went and inspected it with the public, they said, oh, it's excellent condition. We don't need to repair it. But why didn't you go in and see it before? So now they've agreed that it's in excellent condition, need minor repairs, and now they are still going on the issue of, but to repair it, we will have to shut the water, so what shall we do, etc., etc., etc. I'll come to that. But coming back to RTI, 389 trees and 9,400 tree years. These are two shockingly different figures which only come out thanks to an RTI. So we asked BMC, okay, now you say this tank is good and it needs to be repaired. Tank is 140 years old. You must have repaired it sometime in the past. Share that details. So they replied, we don't have any details of past repairs. But besides RTI, there are other factors that play. So one day, I received a call from some guy saying that I run a shop at Kalba Devi. I was in the train. There was a bag left in the train. So I have taken, there was nobody in the compartment who said it was his bag. So I have taken it. It's lying with me. When I opened it, your name and your phone number is on the top. So I'm calling you. It is your bag. I said, I have not left any bag in the train. It's not mine. Can you send me a photo of what is the issue? So I'll trace what is the issue. So my name and phone number was there because it was my complaint letter to BMC with my name and number. So that is how it was there. And he very sweetly clicked many pictures of different documents and sent me. So I said, this seems to... Then there was another lady's name also. I asked her. She said, no, it's not my bag also. Then he sent some more pictures. And it turned out to be the BMC officer who looks after this department had left his file in the train. So we contacted that office who is looking after this and said that, see, somebody has called, this bag is left behind. So somebody eventually said, yes, it's me. I left it behind, thank you very much. He went to the shop and collected it. But one of the photos that shop guy sent us, just clicking random things, is a certificate issued by BMC in 1987, giving a certification of gratitude to some contractor for repairing Malabar Hill water tank without shutting the water. So I told that fellow, I said, it is in your bag. How you're giving me RTI that it is not there? So he also said no. So everything may not work on RTI. Some things happen for unknown reasons. And every time they say anything, we show them this paper. If in 87 it could be repaired, why can't it be repaired in 2024? Don't put topi on us. But when BMC wants to do some wrong, sorry to say so, but then they have to catch experts. So they go to IIT and they go to VJTI and they go to XYZ, who are... An opinion is only as good as the question asked. So if I ask you a misleading question, I will get a misleading answer. And I cannot blame the person who gave the answer. So if I go to IIT and say, what is the capacity of water storage that I need when I shut this tank down to repair it? So IIT will give you an answer. IIT, they never asked me whether I should shut it or not shut it. So I am not answering that question. And this is how the tricks are played. Environment is not all about trees, it's also about relaxation. If you all look a little, I don't know, on the older side, most of the people here, but try going to Marine Drive at 12 o'clock in the night and going for a walk. The cops will throw you out. There is no Worli Sea Face any longer, but if you went to Worli Sea Face after 12 o'clock, they throw you out. Same at Juhu Beach. After 11, 12 o'clock in the night, the cop comes with a lathi and he will whack anybody who's walking on the beach. So one day my mentalist part kicked in. I said, but what is this? Somebody walking and the bloody cops, either they bloody do pee, like some crook or something, some criminal. What is this? So I filed an RTI with the police saying, what is the timing for Juhu Beach? So they replied, there is no timing. If there is no timing, why are you throwing people out? It's a public open space. If I'm walking on the road outside Churchgate, can they tell me, 12 baje, why you are standing here? Or I want to walk, what is the problem? So we got a reply saying there is no timing, but still they continue throwing people out because still somebody is aggrieved with it, they will not fight it. Also very much part of our environment to have a place to relax. And I choose to relax at 4 in the morning, somebody might choose to relax at 4 in the afternoon. Means it's not the cop's role to tell me what time I should be relaxing. Again, metro. We will build metros. It will reduce the traffic from the streets. It will reduce the crowd in the trains. People will stop falling out of the trains. Have you all heard this? Yeah. So there is a metro line, Metro 2 and Metro 7, which is started since over a year. So we filed an RTI and asked them, very good, you'll have started. How many cars went off the road after your metro started? So they replied back, we don't have any information about that. And nor do they have any system to count how many cars were there before and how many cars are there now. Because it is easy to make a story that I will remove so many cars from the road. If removing cars from the road was possible, then Delhi would not have any traffic because it has 300 kilometers of metro lines. London wouldn't have traffic, New York wouldn't have traffic, Paris wouldn't have traffic, Tokyo wouldn't have traffic. So there is no correlation between traffic and metro except to make stories of how the environment is going to get cleaned because of metro. In 2018, on Juhu Beach goes all the way from Warsaw up to Khardanda. So on the Khardanda end of Juhu Beach, one day, MMRDA came and cut away all the beach vegetation and the thick growth which eventually leads to mangroves. They just came and they cleared it out. So the Juhu Beach is mostly beach, but one end of it is having thick vegetation. So we fought, we stopped it, but we filed an RTI and asked them, but why have you come here? And what are you planning to do? So they gave an RTI reply that we are planning to make a casting yard for the metro line on Juhu Beach. So they replied. So we filed another RTI. Okay, you've come to Juhu Beach, so now show us all your permissions. Where are your permissions from the Coastal Authority? Where are your permissions from MOEF? Where are all your environmental permissions? So they replied, we don't have any permissions, we are leaving from here. And they vacated it. It's another story that in few months, the sealing people came there and the same thing started again. But this reply from the MMRD, they took long time to give, and I had went myself to follow it up, and they were like, you are asking us very difficult question, we don't know how to answer it, because we know we are wrong. So this is how, I'm just giving you all stories of how sometimes RTIs help, sometimes RTIs help everywhere, but sometimes we may succeed because of it, sometimes we fail. Sorry, not directly in environment, but having a harmonious environment among people is also environment. saying that you are one religion and you are the other religion and creating animosity amongst different people is also anti-environment. CAA, I forgot what it's called, Citizens Amendment Act, big thing few years ago. We will allow illegal immigrants only of some religions to become Indians. So we asked a simple question, how many illegal immigrants are there in India today? They say, we don't know. But who did you make the act for? So act is only made for acting, not for actual implementation, because I think till now maybe 15 people got citizenship. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So the story behind this is something different. The upholder of our laws, our courts, also have RTI, but they are most opaque. Coming back to Malabar Hill water tank, since it was a 140-year-old reservoir, we asked all other over 100-year-old structures within Mumbai, how come you are standing for 100 years? And who are those structures? BMC headquarters, also 140 years old. Bombay High Court, also 140 years old. And like this, so many other people. So we asked them, what is your structural audit? So BMC headquarters were very nice and gave us their full report and gave everything. When we asked Bombay High Court, can we have your structural audit of Bombay High Court building? They said, no, it's a secret. We cannot give you. And it's nothing to do with public. But there are 10,000 public people sitting in that building. They refused to give it. Now, should we fight with them and file a first appeal and second appeal? Our fight was not with Bombay High Court, our fight was with Malabar Hill reservoir. So we said, chalo, let's ignore this lack of information and get on with some other fight. But a court being opaque is a terrible thing. It's an unacceptable thing. But this is how our systems work. I think I'm nearing the end. Everybody's seen this? Does anybody recognize what this is? Weather. Yellow alert, red alert, green alert. Tomorrow school holiday because there's going to be heavy rain and the sun is shining. Yeah. So after many such false alarms, we got irritated. We said, how the hell do they bloody decide these things? So we have been a little extra positive and we filed an RTI asking the weather department that how many red, yellow, orange alerts did you all issue in the last, say, 5 years? And on that day, what was the weather? Because I don't see any of these, the alert and the day never tally. They haven't given a reply yet. Because I personally believe it's very difficult to give the true reason of how these alerts are decided. So it might be difficult for them to answer. So I leave you all with that. So we can use RTI for information and use it for a little bit of entertainment also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhathena, for sharing so many great examples of how we can use RTI for the betterment of our cities. Your work has truly shown us how we can all play a part in creating a better city.